Just making you aware, RCN remarks from US President Trump on Truth Social says, my administration has been working very hard on a deal to save TikTok, and we have made tremendous progress. The deal requires more work to ensure all necessary approvals are signed, which is why I'm signing an executive order to keep TikTok up and running for an additional 75 days. We hope to continue working in good faith with China, who I understand are not very happy about our reciprocal tariffs, bracket necessary for fair and balanced trade between China and the USA, bracket. This proves that tariffs are the most powerful economic tool and very important to our national security. We do not want TikTok to go dark. We look forward to working with TikTok and China to close the deal. So Trump there just saying, my administration has been working very hard on a deal to save TikTok. We'll sign an executive order to keep it up and running for an additional 75 days. Says he understands that China are not very happy about the reciprocal tariffs, but says necessary for fair and balanced trade between China and the USA, proving that tariffs are the most powerful economic tool.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Get started in just a second here. Let me fix this up. Oh, okay. Holy macaronis. Let's look into this market. All right. So, shoot, I wasn't able to do a live stream today because I didn't have childcare, and then all of a sudden, had some family come through. Holy moly. These last couple of days have been quite wild in these markets. Unfortunately, I've been rather busy in the home front, so it's been hard to do anything. Okay, we're going to take a look here, just really get a quick glimpse at what's going on here. Maybe just ease some of the minds, right? There's obviously a lot of volatility. This is one heck of a roller coaster going on right now. We haven't seen these moves. Once again, if you watched last night's brief, God, I'm getting blown up. Oh my goodness. Geez, man, people just are ringing my phone today. Okay, so we haven't seen these since about the pandemic. We're getting close. We got very close to a limit down circuit breaker, right? IWM was down almost, we're right there about, once again, reaching down into about minus 7% on the trading session. And sure enough, like this is what capitulation looks like. Doesn't mean that this is the capitulatory day and we're going to find a bottom by any means. That's not what I'm saying, but this is, in fact, what a liquidation event can look like. This is, in fact, what capitulation actually looks like, where you get 96 declining stocks in the S&P 100 versus 5 advancing stocks. We don't know where this is going to end.
In Brazil.
But this is just sell side begetting sell side here. We've been in negative gamma for a while. We were down here at the quarter to date expected move on the fourth trading day of this quarter. The only time that I remember that this really happened this quickly, from the most recent time at least, was in August. So if I pull up SPY, you can see here, the SPY went 3 days down into, August 1, 2, and 3, boom. Well, it was August 5th, but 3 trading days, and this was legitimately the quarter to date expected move for that quarter there starting in the month of August. And right now in the month of April, we're starting Q2, and then boom, 1, 2, 3 trading days, 2 trading days really, we made it down to that quarter to date expected move. Okay, so this is what the market was pricing in as far as the entire quarter, and now we're coming into an earnings season, which is, it kicks off, when does it kick off? It kicks off very, very soon. Let me see if I can actually pull that up. Let me go in here, customize, days till earnings. Days to earnings, we'll add that in, we'll apply. Let's see if it loads up. We'll take a quick gander look, see what's coming up next. It's always financials, but we'll let that load. So we're doodling right there at that quarter to date expected move. I'm going to give a quick look into chat. We'll look at market net flow, by the way. It's been bearish all trading session. We gapped through that daily expected move, which was already, by the way, massive. It was $9 of expectations. We blew through that on the open, and we got some decent jobs numbers, I guess. The initial reaction was up, then it was down. But then we got continued sell side into this quarter to date expected move. Absolutely incredible day. And if you think you know what's going to happen next, trust me, you should put those thoughts to the side, because no one really has a grasp of what's to come next. All we can control is four things, right? We can only control four things in this market. That's what we buy, when we buy it, how much of it we buy, and when we sell it. So all we can focus on is really the factors of risk, right? Not, hey, I think it's going to go up or I think it's going to go down. It doesn't matter. Throw it out the window. It really doesn't matter. If you believe that the market is a good buying opportunity, cool. Scale into it. Do so small because of this volatility. If you go too heavy and it goes against you again, I saw so many people on X saying tomorrow's going to be a green day. And in my head, I'm like, I don't know about that. We closed on the lows of the trading session. It just seemed as if we're going to get some follow through. And imagine if we have another follow through day come on Monday, right? If we close at the lows today, what would that do? Then you'll have all types of people, freaking out. These type of moves are absolutely insane. So, okay. Expected moves are based on the options market, right? Implied volatility in the options market. Okay, I'll share some of those today. Whew. Oh my goodness. Let me say what's up to the Twitch stream, and then also YouTube. What's up, Tony? What's up, Generator? What's up, Dee? What's up, Palm Tree? Hope everyone's doing good today. Trust me, these last 2 days, if you manage to just, survive these last couple of days, don't panic. Don't, take a step back. We've been kind of preparing for this when we look in the terms of market conditions and the bigger picture of things. And, just know that there's going to be good opportunities that come from this. So you got to be somewhat just patient here. What's up, Doppler? What's up, Alpha? What's up, Red? What's up, Wolf Banter? Barkster over here on YouTube. Chris, Sweet As, Chick, No, Red, Max, Stinky Man. What's going on, Comrade? Lucas. What's up, everybody? Varma, what's going on, man? Everybody here. Otter, Abu, Max, No, Mike. Stopped out of all positions. Hey, if you're getting stopped out, that's market telling you something, right? Holy moly. Okay, let me just hop in over here. We're going to look at some individual names. We can do that. Vietnam is saving my portfolio today. Hello, Vietnam. Saving my portfolio today. Apparently they came out, or Trump came out, or somebody came out and said that they're changing up their tariffs. And sure enough, some Vietnam names absolutely went bonkers. And I haven't looked at it yet. It might be fading for all I know, right? It might be fading. I got to look at it, right? I've been taking care of my child here. It was kind of nice though, actually. I'll be honest. Hey, what's up, Jose? What's up, Rosebud? It was kind of nice. I was, outside, listening to the birds chirp, and the market's all going crazy, and I'm just sitting there watching my kid play, draw some chalk on the ground, and I'm like, this is kind of nice, right? So remember that in times like this. If you prepare ahead of time, and you don't go too crazy too fast, you can kind of step back and breathe during the moments of panic and prepare for what can come out of this. Sorry, I'm like, I do want to, I want to probably play some trades on today. I managed to get some trades on today. Short-term trades, I can go over those. I'm trying to just manage this. Am I full port RH? No, I don't have any position in RH. I don't have any position in RH. I was sharing that because there's a lot of stocks kind of coming down. We can take a look at RH, Restoration Hardware. I don't know anything about the company. I just know that it reported earnings and got absolutely hammered. So I just pulled up the chart, but I know nothing about RH. It's well off the lows today, that's for sure. But yeah, this thing got absolutely crushed, and it was at that IPO VWAP. I believe that was the IPO pricing, the chart that I shared on Twitter, right? Or on X, as well as the stock market brief show. I've been sharing a lot of those. Nike, right? So Nike is the one that's like saving my portfolio today. They came out with the whole Vietnam stuff, and I believe, they produce a lot in Vietnam. And we had a pretty large reversal. I don't know if this is going to stick, but I've been building a position. So my average price is pretty much where we're at actually right now. I did buy a little bit off the open, and I got lucky, obviously, but I've been buying into this and scaling in. So my position's probably right at around, I'll have to look, but it's right around in these areas. This is a longer term position. I'm kind of jumping into the panic, and I shared the financial crisis. So the financial crisis low right over here, the anchor VWAP came in confluence to and around 60, which we're below right now. And then also the pandemic low. And we just got a new CEO here with this. So I'm hoping it's a turnaround story. It's in a horrible trend. So that's why it's one of those names that I'm just saying, I'll start scaling in, building a position, and I'll hold it for a longer period of time. I'm not really looking to make quick money on this one by any means. If it comes quick, all right, cool. I'll probably sell into it, and then I'll trade around it. But yeah. Okay. I want to look at the Mag 7 stocks here. We'll go into just the heat map of FinViz, I guess we can go to. This is just pure and utter panic over here. We have Home Depots and Lowe's, for whatever reason, up, and then the little Nike sign, the little Nike sign over there is up too. Target is green. Wow. Yeah, Target is another one that's absolutely been just brutalized to the downside. And then we have somewhat of a reversal candle coming into play today. Look, yeah, I wish I can tell you what I know is going to happen next, but this stuff is just absolutely crazy. Apple's down 5%. Apple's the market, right? Apple is the market. So this one was looking good, holding up, not making a new low.
Update from the Washington Post. UK and US discussions on trade ongoing. UK offered to cut tariffs on US beef and fish, citing two people familiar with the talks.
Okay. Semiconductors absolutely monsterly crushed these last few days. Semiconductors, bam, breaking down. You'll probably see some rip-roaring rallies back at some point. I'd be very careful trying to play rip-roaring rallies now. It looked decent over here. I even traded it a bit, breaking through this, and then bam, I'm lucky that I'm not holding it right now. That's for certain. So semiconductors absolutely getting blasted. NVIDIA is down another 6% on today's trading session, and it's kind of pulling into and around where we saw, this prior area, this prior reversal over here. Overall, what are we doing? We're kind of going sideways. It looks pretty toppy, and the longer we stay down here, the more the 200-day is going to potentially, come down. And even if we see massive snapbacks, just pay very close attention that we're still within a turning larger term trend right here. Amazon was down massively today too. And this one reversed off of its lows. Google is floating around that 150 marker that we popped, that we were talking about. It's acted as support here. It acted as, a support breakout over here. And it's also acted as resistance if you look at the weekly chart dating way back. And, maybe we find some sort of a bounce here too. I'd just be obviously careful, in today's environment, at least as it stands right now. Meta, well off of its highs. These are all, all these names are coming into kind of bear market territory. This is down over 33% from its highs, but not nearly that bad on the year. Right now it's down about 12% on the year. Tesla down about 9% today. This one's just kind of consolidating. This one didn't make a new low yet, which is actually a good sign. We talked about that on that stock market show that I did, was showing the 50 different stocks that were holding up. I'd have to go back and check to see some of those, how they're holding up now. But that was the thing. We were kind of waiting on what the tariff announcement was going to be, and the tariff announcement came, and we started that episode basically saying, I'm not going to try to fight it, but these are the names that have been holding up, and if they continue to hold up and the market likes what it sees, I'm going to be ready to start getting into the market a little bit more aggressively. And so far, the market does not like what it sees. SPS is asking about the quarter expected move on SPY. Yeah, we did reach down to it. We exceeded it. We came back. We've been doodling around. Remember, last August, we did this same exact thing, and we ended up bouncing from it. I don't know if we're going to have that same reaction, but I will say this. Over here, during this sell-off, guess which were a big contributing factor to that sell-off? It was actually CTAs. And, if you look at CTA positioning now, let's actually look at it. They've been a big contributor to this sell-off. Now, it's not going to let me go back further, but August, you just have to take my word for it. It was down and then it started curling up. But, who can be a net buyer if we start seeing strength? It could very well be these CTAs, which are commodity trading advisors. They trade momentum and so forth. Vol control funds, they've been a huge component to selling a sell side on these equities. This thing has been basically pointing straight down. Let's take a look at some of the zero dates today, and we'll also look at where we kind of stand here. So these were the 0 date levels, or 2 DTE levels that we talked about, or that I posted here in the Discord just earlier in the morning. These are what the market was focused on in the early trading session. And right out of the gate, we had the JPM collar mixed with about the 5,300 level. We sold off into the 5,200. We exceeded it. We came down to 5,100.
Just going back
you can see
to
it's kind
Trump's
of holding
economic
as it stands
advisor,
right now.
Moran,
Market
currently
net flow,
speaking on Fox News.
been bearish all day.
Too much different is noting
Started
that
losing
adjustment
convergence.
shocks are
This
going
means that
to
we
be
can see little
volatile.
potential counter trend rallies.
Remember, we did hear from him
Yeah, I can
earlier on
look at
Bloomberg.
gold,
Just
I'll look
seems
at
to
all
be
this
doing the
stuff.
rounds.
VIX touch 45. Be right back. Yeah, hip hop tree. By the way, what's Gamma saying now on direction or expected move? So what am I looking for in terms of what exactly? For like an intraday trade, or as far as like a... I'm not based in San Diego. I'm based out in the Sacramento region, Placer County, Sacramento County. Sacramento. Sacra-tomato. Okay. What are you looking for a quick rally? So if I'm looking for a quick rally, if I always pay attention to the tick chart. So I've been trading scalping futures, and right now, you know, we've been getting some very negative readings in the tick market. I look for minus 1,000, and then I'll typically try to scalp some futures. Yeah, we can look at Carvana. But lately it's been kind of going a little bit lower here today. So I've been looking for 1,000 to 1,200. So maybe I'll scale an MNQ to another MNQ and look for quick scalp bounces. So for example, like over here at 1016, what did the NQ do at 1016? I have no idea. So let's pull it up. Over here, 1016 was right here. Boom. Right here. And we saw a nice little rally off this. Now I probably wouldn't, because I'm scalping, I probably wouldn't have held it for that many points. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking at. So now we're starting to head up and we have bearish context. If I want to short it, right, it's going to be a very quick short because I don't want to get my face blown off. I probably shouldn't say that on stream, actually. I got to change my wording. I don't want like a face melting rally. I don't know what to say. You know what I mean. Okay. So if that's the case, right, if I'm strategizing this, for just scalping, right? I'll look for maybe a plus 1,000 to plus 1,200 reading because it's quite volatile. Like for example, here at 1048, we got a plus 1,000 reading. So what did the NQ do there? At plus one. Wait, what time did I say it was? $10.48. So right here. So this was 1048 candle. So when we closed up here, we saw a little bit of a pullback. Now, that doesn't look like much, but this is 1 minute, right? And we basically went from, went a little higher and, from this high to this low, which you're not going to get it perfectly, but that was 57 points. So that's what I'm looking at right now for doing a just a very quick, scalp stuff. The unfortunate thing is, like, I got to set the alerts and then be alerted when these kind of readings happen because I can't, keep them on my screen. Come on. So if I set up an alert, right, I'll do a little alert, create an alert at or above. I'll just do 850. Somebody had said that, let's see what kind of sound I want. That's annoying, but I'll just use that. Send the following text in messages. Can I send myself a message? I wonder if I can just keep this alert going. I don't know how, but I'm just going to set that alert there. And then on this one down here, I'll do the same thing, minus 800. We'll create an alert. And I'll show you in real time if we can do this. I don't know. I honestly don't know if I want to trade anymore because I'm already okay for the day, but I guess I can just maybe do one of the accounts here. Create an alert. We'll do at or below 800. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and do a ring. And we'll create that as well. Okay, so there we go. Just give me your number. I'll send you a message. Trading View, it's free. Cool. That's neat. Philip, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, there was that minus 800 reading. So let's. I'm not prepared to trade. Go figure. Let's see if it.
See remarks from EU Trade Commissioner Zevkovich says had frank talks with US officials over Trump tariffs.
Well, the minus 800 reading came. It didn't get quite extended, but that's so annoying. Now I don't know how to keep the alert there on this one. I think I might have to go switch to Trading View or something.
More from the Trade Commissioner says he reiterated to the US.
Is this going to ring these out a couple of
Commerce
times?
Secretary that US tariffs are damaging and unjustified. Says US and EU trade relationship needs a fresh approach.
So that's kind of like sometimes I like to start in those areas to start to scale, but today's been pretty volatile, so I'm not much of a fan of that.
Committed to meaningful negotiations,
I don't want to blow up.
To defend
but you can see we got a little bit of a move there.
Says we'll stay in touch with the US on this issue.
I wasn't prepared to do anything there, so. Thanks, Daniel. I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to look into TOS alerts a little bit better, and maybe because I feel like somebody in my chat said that you can have an alert just stay there for every time it hits that level, or something like that. All right, we'll look at some of the individual names, throw them in the chat. SPY is just doodling right now at its quarterly expected move. What is this? Oh, T26 is telling me, go to options and create regular alert that keeps it on the chart. Okay, let me see here. Go to options and create regular alert. No, that's not what I wanted. Options? Oh, options. Create regular alert. Aha! At or above 850. Okay. Let's see if that does it then. At or above 850. And I'll make a annoying ding sound, a ring sound. All right. Hello, who is it? And we're going to remove this one. No, I want to remove this one. What did I just do? Cancel alert. Create alert. Sorry. 850. At or below. Options. Regular alert. Thank you. Okay. I want to figure out now the text messaging piece to it too, because sometimes I'm away from my computer. Although I'm thinking about maybe just doing I don't know, but that's what I wanted. That's what I want to say. Okay, so we got those set up. Let's take a look at some of these names. Got some of them coming in here. People had mentioned gold. Well, let's take a look at some of the intermarket stuff. Okay, I feel like that. Oh my goodness, here we go. We're about to have an alert hit. This market's wild. Sorry, I can't trade it right now. So we're going to take a look at some of this intermarket stuff. Let's take a look at the 10-year yield right now. 10-year yield is well off the lows, near the highs. This thing got very frothy. So yeah, can we see a bounce? Obviously, but this is a big move over here in the 10-year yield. And oil today, holy moly, this thing has been getting clobbered. Look at this move in oil. There we go. There's a 850 reading, so the market's kind of ripping up a little bit higher right now. So I'm going to go back to it just so I can share it with you. If I was to trade this, which I'm not, right? So this is starting to rip up higher as we kind of broke this little flag here. So if I were to fade it, I would want a little bit stronger of a reading on the tick chart. Like for example, right? Up in here in these thousands. So it's kind of getting to it. Maybe even 1200. But I would be doing like on today's day, maybe 1 MNQ if anything. And I would be scalping it super fast because it's not going to hold up in these areas over here. We're going to see a little bit of a pullback, right? That's going to happen, but I don't know if the market's actually going on a monster tear right here. So that's how I would approach it, looking at these extended readings, right? A quick MNQ, a micro, nothing crazy. It pulls back in, maybe comes down to this 200 through 500, maybe back to the zero line. That's what I would be looking at, okay? Let's take a look here. Let's see if it did it. So if you are a fast trader, those are, strategies that you can do. So if I pull this up, you look at, see the minute chart, it roared from, up, it kept on going about 33 points. And then from this high, it pulled back, about 30 points there. So you got to be quick. You got to be very quick. Okay. Just to be very clear on that specific strategy. I've started to record some of my live trades and keeping a book of it. And I probably will be putting something together here to give more of a specifics on kind of how I approach that for the faster traders that might be in the futures market. All right, let's now look at some of these other commodities or intermarket stuff. So oil, which is absolutely crushed, and that is going to spark growth concerns, hands down. We'll take a look at the dollar. Not surprising to see a snapback in the dollar. This was a very aggressive move. We started to see a snapback. It's an inside trading candle there on the trade-weighted dollar. Gold today. We'll look at GC gold futures. Gold is coming in today on a rising dollar. Two stock market briefs ago, we said, all right, it's getting pretty to the point here that gold probably is going to need to take a breath. Right? It's getting very frothy, has not seen a pullback. So we can go through periods of consolidation like we saw over here, or we saw over here after strong run-ups, right? Strong run-up, consolidated, strong run-up, consolidated. So yeah, it's coming in right now from its all-time high, which is just absolutely insane. Let's take a look at silver. We had mentioned yesterday, so that's another extended reading there. Silver absolutely crushed, 7% to the downside. Big moves in these commodity space / currency space. I will say that yesterday, I don't know if anybody picked up on it, but silver being down this much, I said pay attention to gold miners because they're not going to hold up. They had relative strength, and if silver falls, gold miners ain't going to hold up. And take a look today, down 7.58% on the gold miners. But yesterday, they were basically flat on the trading session with silver down. That right there was a no-brainer to me to short that. I did not short it, even though it was a no-brainer, just because I'm not much of a short seller. But that is something that you can put in your toolkit for when these things happen. For example, if miners got hit, but yet silver started moving higher, you might want to pay attention to these gold miners because they might follow suit there too. I don't have the chart in front of me right now, but the correlation between, oh my gosh, is this going to just go off all the time now? The correlation between these two assets are darn near one for one, perfect correlations. We're just kind of hitting the upper bounds of this 800 reading. That's all we're doing right here. We only got exceeded that 1,000 really kind of one time over here just recently amongst this, and we saw a little bit of a pullback / consolidation. Nothing crazy here. All right, let's take a look back at some of these other names people are posting up here. TZA is, what is TZA? TZA is the bear ETF for IWM, or for Russell 2000 small caps. Yeah, this thing was massive. Look at this, kind of flagged out, and bam, we went higher, right?
Just more from Ukrainian President Zelensky says Russian military strikes
shorting
energy
small caps
facility
where
in
we're
the
at right
Kherson
now. And the
on
reason
Friday.
for that is simply because, I mean, this is pretty frothy territory to just hop in short, right? So I was looking at small caps here to play a trade through this to come up to this orange line with a stop, giving it more space. So this was one of those wider stop, smaller positions. And it was a actually nice bounce, but it didn't quite reach up into these areas. So I ended up moving my stop up. But if you didn't, or if you took that, you'd been out here on that day for a small position loss, right? And then you would have saved yourself from here. Now I look to probably reset this up. Let me clear this drawing set. But yeah, we're down, what, 25 to 30% in the small caps right now. It came down, 27%. Now we're sitting at roughly about 25%. No, I'm not looking to short down here. If anything, I try to look for some fade longs, but I'm not really willing right now to step in. I'm just not really willing to step into this stuff right now. It's just a little bit too much for me. Semiconductors, right? Like I said, right? A lot of people, if you like that, the leverage stuff, I mean, these things are just getting hammered. Just crazy, right? These leverage ETFs amongst these other ones, just crazy. Tesla, yeah. So Tesla is holding up surprisingly well here. I mean, it's down 8%. Okay, whatever, right? If I drew this out, activate this drawing up, it's kind of consolidating within this little channel here, and it hasn't made a new low, at least yet, right? I don't know if it's going to make a low or not, but if it doesn't, right, these are the type of names that you want to watch for strength, right? If the market finds itself a bottom, right, S&P 500, whatever the case is, when we start finding a bottom, you look for the names that actually that have been outperforming, right, that have a higher low, because those are the names that could potentially lead us out of a market bottom. And I don't know if that's going to be the case now, later, whatever, right? I pulled up some big picture charts for everybody the other day. If you think of things in terms of bear markets, right, you typically get like 3 waves down. This would be wave 1, right? And then we popped up a little bit. This could be wave 2. Who knows, right? Maybe we come back up and then do another wave 3. Maybe we don't, and we don't know what it's going to look like, right? But these are some very, very extravagant moves, to say the least there, okay? Thanks, Savage. TLT options, why are they popping? Like popping good, popping bad. 10-year yield fell. So, bonds yields, they work inverse. So yeah, you see a move higher in bonds. That's it's a good sign here, I guess, if you're long bonds. I got out this day, and now I'm looking for some consolidation. I don't really like how it's gapping up and then closing at the low, gapping up, closing at the low, gapping up, and then closing at the low. So not my favorite type of price action here. But if it starts to consolidate and flag out, I might look for a re-entry. But right now, I'm just not interested. But that doesn't mean that you can't have a position, right? If you enter right here and your stop's down here, I mean, that gives it a lot of space. You just might be in for, some consolidation at some point, and then who knows, right? If the yields break down, you might see TLT, or if we get some sort of panic, even more so than what we're seeing, flush to safety, right to safety, bonds end up turning back into the, what we know them to be, a flight to safety. That could be quite beneficial. All right, market's coming back in a little bit over here. Tom Lee's crying in the corner. Tom Lee, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm glad people are starting to actually notice some of the things now, during this time. Like, you can really see people's true colors. Like,
on all channels.
Like, first off, I'm pretty sure he became bearish at the bottom of 2022, if I remember correctly. I could be getting confused with something, but I'm almost certain. And, a few days ago, plus throughout this sell-off, he's saying this could be the bottom, this, face raping rally, blah, blah, blah. And eventually he's going to be right. But the problem here is he has I mean, he's going to be biased. He sells products from the long perspective. Like he's going to try to ease investors' minds and not freak them out because it's going to get them out of positions. Like for example, his Granny fund, right? GRNY. This is fund strat, large cap, whatever, GRNY, Granny or whatever. But look at this thing. Boom. It's moving with the market. Just 20 down 22% in the last month or so. Okay. HGX is turning positive. That is interesting to note. HGX turning positive. Seeing a little reversal there. That's actually, yeah, not a bad sign. Housing sector. There we get a minus. There's a minus 850 reading. Let's take a look here. Come on, man. Push it a little bit lower. Let me see what count that I have up right now. Let me see here. Man, I just don't know if I want to execute right now because I don't want to turn a green day around. Although I've done pretty good, so I do have space to take some losing trades. But do I want to take some losing trades? Obviously not. Now this account actually, this account, I'm basically flat on the session. We're at $35. So I guess I can try to fire some off there. Your broker doesn't seem to have tick. Thinkorswim is free. I don't trade on Thinkorswim. I use the platform though, right? There's going to be platforms out. TradingView, I think, is free to an extent. Maybe they offer tick chart for free. I don't know. Let's see what else we got. So yeah, that's good. It's like Peter Schiff and gold, yeah. For another quick bounce. Curious about the tick thing that you mentioned on the last little bounce. Yeah, I'm not gonna trade the 800 readings right now on a tick chart. The lower white line. Okay. I'm gonna have to do some films and put some stuff together for this tick stuff, because the problem is if I just tell people the specific line and tell them what the win rate has been, they're gonna go too heavy too fast and they're gonna just blow up accounts. It requires speed and some accuracy on doing this stuff. I'd love to execute it live. I am not a good trader live. I have to be very, very, very focused while I'm executing real money. If I maybe bring up just like a, what's it called, account that's not funded by any means, like to get like whatever past the combine, I guess I can do that. But even then, like I might struggle a bit. At least to talk. I mean, I could do it if I'm just being quiet and I pretend like nobody's here with me. But I'll have to put some stuff together for that. Yeah, I could paper trade too, but even then, it's like in my head, it's real money. It's just a very weird thing, weird dynamic. Like I take it almost too seriously. And I guess another reason for that actually would be because I don't want people to follow along and not understand what's going on in my head. Right? So I have to explain it and then you have to watch. But if I do it live and you don't understand what's going on in my head, it's going to be completely misguided, if that makes sense. There's things that I'm looking at, like, now I'm not just looking at the tick chart. There are other aspects to it, but I've now come to a part where I'm just very fast to analyze it and I'm legitimately in and out, right? So one person will take the same trade at the same tick reading, right? Because if you actually backtest it, it's not that great, right? It's not actually great at all. But it is good if you know what to watch for and what to look for, and if you're just a massively quick executor. It's quickness. I'm literally picking up pennies. It's like a high frequency trade, except a lot slower than a high frequency trade, but it is very high frequency. We're talking seconds. Actually, I could probably pull up like some of my trade. Let me see here. Let me see here. Trade. Let me see if I can do it. Have Coco narrate. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. Alpha. That's great. That's a good one. Is that what you're talking about? We're doing it live. Cohen bought some shares. GME's up. Yeah, we're seeing some pretty gnarly moves here in the market. Don't get too excited, right? If you feel overly confident, watch out. So if let's get a minus 1,000 reading over here. I might actually take that now. Let me see if I can pull this up here for you. Oh, I thought it said the time in the trades. I thought it showed that somewhere. I guess it doesn't. I know it does somewhere. Trade log? Yeah, so like here's one of the trades. I mean, this was actually kind of longer, but you know, it was 28 seconds. That actually was a decent amount of time. 28 seconds with an MNQ contract. Very fast. Sometimes it's longer if I'm scaling, but yeah, pretty quick. Okay. Somebody had mentioned AVGO. We'll pull up AVGO. AVGO kind of is back at its lower vol range today. These things got blasted. I mean, all semiconductors got massively blasted. You're going to see snapback rallies, but it's going to take a while here to start to see things consolidate. And we don't know how it's going to consolidate and what's going to look like after, right? If we bounce up, people are going to get excited. But what if it happens to be just something like this, and then all of a sudden it takes us back down, and we retest these lows and break lower? I don't know what's going to happen, once again, but these are things that you have to just be aware of. So we have a 200-day that's starting to roll over, a 50-day that's declining. Yeah, even if we snap back, what is that? That's just a higher low. That would be a huge move from where we are right now back up to here, 34%. Right? So tops in markets take time, right? If you look at this and you look at NVIDIA, actually, in fact, remember this day on NVIDIA? Go back to this, go watch the stock market brief show on this day. What day was this? January 7th. We probably talked about NVIDIA gapping to new all-time highs and closing at the lows. And I swear, I'm almost certain that we compared it to this day and this day. And what we said was, look at, like, it's not bearish to hit a new all-time high, but this reversal is. And what happens is it could take months and months, if not even longer, to potentially re-come to test those highs. And that right there was a massive reversal. And over here was a massive reversal after a strong move higher. And it took how long to retest these highs? It took, 117 days, 82 trading days, right? Over here, it didn't take as long, but it took still 74 days, 54 trading days. And now, I mean, who knows when we're going to come back to this high, right? Now we're getting these extended readings. All right, let's go to the tick chart. Now we're getting some frothiness here. Now we're getting a minus. So if I did a little it's kind of crazy right now. So if I bought an MNQ here, I'll show you for demonstration purposes as we're just getting absolutely just quickly and utterly whatevered. All right, so one thing that I look for right now, I just execute into it. One thing that I look for now is if NQ is actually bouncing up higher while the tick chart's moving. If it's not, I'm not really interested in being in this for too long. And I try to re-enter into it. So, okay, so I don't have NQ up right now. Let me pull it up on this chart. I'm looking at another screen. Okay, so here's NQ. I look at even a smaller time frame chart. So right now I'm up about, a few points, and it looks like it's going to slip a little bit lower, but I'm just going to hold on to it just so we can see kind of what happens actually, because this is actually fine for me. Okay. Watch. This is some pretty significant sell side, so I would imagine that we're going to get a little bit extended more on the tick chart. I gotta create a new screen that shows the ticks and this at the same time so you guys can see both. both the stuff. Okay.
Do you know just some commentary from Ortex Technologies? Says that short sellers
All right.
targeting US companies.
So
with
one
market cap
MQ,
greater
one
than $1
MNQ
billion
contract was taken right
are
down here.
$54.9
I'm basically
billion
flat
for
on the
week
position.
through
This has already
Thursday.
moved up,
Short sellers
and
gains for the year through
I'm down
through
$10
Thursday,
on this MNQ contract.
118.5 billion. Just some
All right.
data there from
So
Ortex Technologies.
right now, I don't really like the look of it because this has already shot up and we're still kind of selling off. So if I was to scale into this, I would be looking for a stronger move down, a flush, and I'd be trying to re-enter an MNQ. Or if MNQ starts to bounce up and starts to get to more break even or pop just a slightly up, I'll probably just dump the position as a break even trade, if that makes sense. Okay. So we'll see here. Trying to keep it up on my screen. This looks very heavy. That looks very heavy. Market net flow, very bearish, but no convergence. Okay. All right, now we wait. Let's give it some time, see what happens. So far, it really hasn't gone up or bounced from that reading. I'm not going to show, I'm going to show tick chart here because I'm watching the chart on my screen. I'm going to have to recreate this if I want to show people kind of what it is that I'm looking at. And now we're up a little bit on the position. So I'm going to go ahead and actually just, I'm going to move my stop up to break even. And there I'm out. Okay. So that one was, it was $1 or so, just above break even to take care of commissions. But we didn't really get a bounce there. However, we executed into it. So I'll show you what it looks like. Okay. And that happens, but this is all about managing the risk. And now we might get it bounced. Now we might get a bounce, but that's okay. I really don't care about missing it. I care about executing properly. So we got down right at about here. Okay. Got right about here. And we basically saw a little bit of a pop. I basically got, let me zoom in, basically right at about here because I was a little bit slow to it. We saw that little bit of a pop right here. Okay. And then I moved it to break even just slightly above it and I got stopped out. I did not like how it was acting given the context of what we saw, and that's fine. Now we just got another reading of an extended move. So now I can look to potentially redo it. But now I'm explaining myself, and no, that was a minus 850 reading. I got to really set up my charts better here for doing lives. Yeah, no, it didn't go back down to minus 1,000. So that's going to be a wash trade, and I'm going to wait here. I'll wait and see if we can get another reading. And this looks like it might come down here. Give it a little bit more of a flush.
Do you know it's just some
bounce
pointing
out of
out
it.
some commentary from Tracy
bounce out of it.
Besant on concerns, responding to questions about what worries him. It says he worries the tax bill gets bogged down somehow.
Let me see here. Yeah, so that kind of bounced out of that, unfortunately. So it is what it is. We'll see here if we can still come back down and get another reading and another shot at that. I'll wait for the alert. Pull back up NQ. Look at Palantir. Yeah, we can look at Palantir. Let's go Palantir, and if I hear the alert, I'll try to come back to it. Man, look at NQ. Crazy, 5% down. Actually, let me check on Ruddy really quick to see where that's hanging out at. Oh, no, we're off those lows. Okay. Palantir. I mean, this is another high flyer name, and you know, we're coming in a bit here. It's kind of in no man's land as it stands right now, but we still are above a rising 200. 50 days still rising. So I'd be watching to see how this one kind of sets up. You know, maybe it's a larger kind of structure. Maybe we come in and, break down and then eventually try to find our legs and bounce through it and head higher. But right now, I don't really see a clean trade as it stands here for Palantir. Did I say I'm out of levels? I don't know what I'm saying when I'm live. I'm trying to focus in my head, and my head is talking at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I understand it, but I can't. if I'm messing up my words, that's because I can't trade live. Simple as that. unless if I'm just quiet. Market net flow starting to turn red again over here too as well. It's been bearish all day, basically saying, hey, if you know what you're doing to buy the dip, cool. But if you don't, watch out, watch out. My son goes like, he gets so attached. It's so funny. And he gets so worried that like he's leaving his daddy or leaving his mommy. And then all of a sudden, like 5 seconds later, it's the opposite. He's attached to the other person. He's like, no, play. It's too funny. I just got a photo of him. That's why. Okay. So let's go back over here. I'm trying to ruffle up some of these, trades here, because it is some pretty nice volatility. Hello? Testing. Am I still live? Hello? Is my stream live? Am I out?
Just further from the Treasury Secretary Besant
Okay,
says we are setting the sails.
I
for a much
see the
better
chats
fiscal
coming in
time.
now. Okay, my bad. I don't know what happened there. I thought everything was frozen for a second. My apologies. Okay. Thank you. I don't know what that was. Philip, there is really no reason why I prefer NQ over S&P. Actually, it just depends on the volatility, right? Sometimes I like NQ because it moves very quickly, right? It's a little bit more volatile, and I like to just quick scalp. But if you want something a little bit more cleaner, yeah, definitely S&P futures. And you can use this tick chart. You can do both, right? Sometimes though, like NQ, I can just be in and out, and S&P might kind of doodle around like in that area. And it might be a little bit more different to get in, get out, but it's the same thing. Like just trade what you feel comfortable with. Trade with what you feel comfortable with. That's about it. Yeah, big volume today. All right, NQ is still sinking off here. It looks like we might get that lower extended reading. Let's get a -1,000 and let's give this one a shot again. Here's a -1,000 reading, and I'll throw in an MNQ right now. All right, so let's go to NQ. Let's see here. See, I should be, like typically I would just be scaling out right now or putting my stops in, but I'm moving this chart for you all. All right, there we go. I'm getting out. Bam, exit. That was about 30 bucks right there. Very quick, right? Very, very quick. That's about it, right? Because honestly, I'm fading a weakness, and I know that this might turn into a bigger bounce. I don't care. If I trade multiple MNQs, which I'm not going to do live, if I trade multiple MNQs, I'm going to maybe scale one out because I know that these things can lead to bigger bounces. But the strategy that I'm sharing with you, I don't mess around with it. I literally pick up pennies, and that's it. I don't care about missing 100-point moves. I don't care. That's not what this strategy is about. Use a different strategy for that. That's what I do for what I've been sharing. Give me a second. Sorry, I might be coming back here. That's what I've been sharing. So let's go back to the tick chart. Yeah, we hit the -1,000 a couple of times. That would have actually been another good entry. That would have been another little decent spot there. Or no, that was just us then. My bad. So now if it comes back down again and we flush out those lows on NQ, I might be looking for it again. So is that cool? Right? It's a lot different than what you see other people do. That's for certain, right? But this strategy, if you're very careful, it does have a high win rate, but it's small positions, right? The problem with high win rate strategies is if you go too big, you blow up right away on a losing trade. So you gotta know the risk. You gotta know the risk, and you gotta just do small stuff. Small stuff if you're playing with real money here. And then you could all once you get the hang of it, then you could always move up, prices, I guess, and do 2 MNQs, or, I mean, if you have the funds to do one, a mini, like, okay, you can do great, but a lot of the rules of these prop firm things, if you do that, are, or if you don't, like, it could get brutal fast with minis. So I just stick with one MNQ to 2 MNQs. Every once in a while, like when it offers up the opportunity, I might go into 5, around there, which is half the size of a mini. But that's about it. Let me see here. Somebody's... Okay. Okay. So Hassan, I actually don't even look at the minute chart. I'm actually looking even smaller than that, and I'm looking at the DOM. So I'd have to share my setup, which I can't do here, but I'm not even on the 1 minute chart. I'm looking at 30 seconds. I'm scalping, but I'm not, I'm looking at more of like the ATR, the range of the candles. I'm not like, if it breaks the high or breaks the low or whatever the case is, I'm looking for things that look extended from a very short period of time. And then I'm paying attention to the DOM. I don't even care about the candle chart. I look at the candle chart and I look at the ticks and then I make my execution and then I'm paying attention to the DOM. I don't even look at the chart at that point, right? So doing it here is a little bit harder because I'm like, let me pull up the NQ chart. And that right there took me 10 seconds. And typically I'm even faster than that, right? This is not like a,
so just seeing
like sometimes you might not even honestly, well, nah, yeah, I kind of want to look at the chart, but I wouldn't necessarily need the chart if I just had like a 30-second ATR up in the corner for like and I could look at the range of the candle or whatever. I wouldn't even necessarily need to look at the chart. I would just need the DOM and my ticks, and that would be about it. But I don't know how to do that, so I just quickly trade. And I'll be quite honest, like I'm not, it's like I'm doing small, like this account is up $75 on the day. I'm talking small. It's across 5 accounts. Okay. This account, and then I have other accounts that I traded to today. So you can scale it out, right? You can scale it out, but if you go too big on a single account, maybe somebody can make some success from it. But for me, I really like coin. No, for me, I couldn't go too heavy. Like maybe I should just start one of these practice accounts and show you what it might look like if I go too heavy too fast, and it'll just blow up, just so everyone could see it coming from me and they don't need to waste their money themselves. Unfortunately, though, if it works out, then people will be like, see, it worked. Then they do it, and then yeah. How come Bitcoin's going up? Let's take a look at some crypto equities. Let's look at coin, actually. Yeah, coin's bouncing from those lows. Let's see where, I'll just pull up Bido. Bitcoin's up 2%. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know about Bitcoin, but Bido, which is Bitcoin ETF, this also didn't make a new low. I mean, that's not necessarily bearish. I mean, probably because it has nothing to do with the tariffs, right? I don't think. I don't think it does. What are you gonna tariff cryptos? I don't know. I don't know. But it didn't make a new low. So coming out of this stuff, maybe crypto does really good. In fact, the sailor to shift tool probably is switching over here soon to a buy signal. We would need the trigger, but that would just tell us that the rate of change between Bitcoin and gold is shifting from stronger gold to stronger Bitcoin. Get a 300K and YOLO it, like all the Yafuroos, and I'll just post my sim account funds. Look I made $40,000 today. Although I can't take it out unless if I get to 7 million because of the consistency rule. It's if I want to extract money from some of these funds that I'm doing,
Commentary
it's literally
from
going to take me
Treasury
months to
Secretary
do so.
Besant says we have
Of doing my
strong
strategy, it's going to take
policy.
it's going to take long. It's going to be brutal, and I hope that they don't close their doors down and go out of business in the meantime, because that's a lot of work. 45K in 8 days. Yeah, that's great. That's killer. Did you get to take it all out? Because that'd be cool. Maybe I'll press the limits a little bit more when I get to the point where I can take the official payout. Because I'm in funded accounts. They are passed. They're all good. And I'm making it slow. But it's like you got to get like through a while of trading. And then you have to make the 9,000 or whatever it is. And then you can take out some if your consistency rule it is all this. And then I trade like 4 different ones, and it's like, okay. And then I got to remember the rules. Ugh. And I only trade right now because we're in negative gamma, right? So if I pull up the, S&P, like we're new lows on the trading session for SPY. I want to take a look at Nike because this thing was holding up pretty well today. I think it'd be down. Yeah, no, it's actually still holding up pretty well. Well, that's great. This is saving my butt today. I shouldn't say anything because it's probably going to be down. I mean, save my butt right now.
He says,
it can change
making
fast.
sure dollar is strong over the long run.
Requested to pay on the next day, blew the account. Oh, man, Savage, that's rough. I'm sorry, dude. That's rough. I feel you, though. I feel it. It's so easy to just kind of get it, like, and it always happens the same way. That's what I'm noticing with various traders. The blow up kind of happens on a tilt, right? Like you take a trade and you're like, oh, I'm up so much, I can make this back. And then you try to go for it. And then it goes a little bit deeper and then you tilt out a little bit. And then it's like, and then at that last point, it's like, oh, here it goes. It's out. And you're just basically, oh, I'll restart it. All right. That's why sometimes it might be more beneficial to trade your own money. It might feel a little bit more appropriate. There we go. Let's oh wow, look at this moving NQ. Are we gonna I don't want no circuit breaker over here. Let's go. Let me go to the tick again. See if I can get an entry. That was only minus 800. NQ now is getting really frothy to the downside, but we actually didn't get a minus 1,000 reading over here. So I want to see if this thing could drop a little bit more, and maybe that gives me I don't think it's going to do it. I think we're going to get our bounce beforehand, but we'll see. Come on. And I'll try to do one more time here, another MNQ. Come on, just push it a little bit lower here. That was a strong minute or so there. Come on, a little bit more. I'm not going to buy right now. I need a deeper reading. NQ is still selling off here. It's pressing another low. It's right there at lows. I would love to see this tick chart move down. It's not. It's going to kind of bounce out of it. Doesn't mean NQ has to, though. Come on. Come on. Fade back down. That'd be fine. Fade back down. Here we go. Come on. Let's get a little thing on. Do a little dance. Wow, just big volatility. Look at this move. This is no joke, people. Hands and feet in the vehicle. Absolutely bonkers. Please do not do anything stupid in this environment. This is something bigger, and we'll find out what it is. Remember what we typically say. It's always obvious in hindsight.
ByteDance
All we needed was a catalyst.
Statement on its website confirming discussions with the US government about TikTok, says it has been in discussion.
Dang, man. I wish this tick chart got us a little bit lower here, because I'm seeing NQ kind of bounce out of this little hole here. Very short-term bounce there, but it was nice. That was a nice move. Unfortunately, I didn't get a good enough reading to get in, but if I pull up the NQ chart, I'll show you what I mean. And I know it doesn't look like anything, but it does mean quite. It's, that's quite move from
Just
589 to
further from
640.
Says there
I mean,
are
that's a
key
pretty
matters
fast,
to be resolved,
violent
and
move
the
here.
pact will be subject to approval.
So we'll see if it can come back down and
The pact will be
reset
subject to
itself.
approval
But
under Chinese law,
yeah.
and the pact has not been executed.
Nothing to do with tariffs. I mean, isn't that kind of the catalyst that's kicked it off? Has to do. Oh, you're probably just joking around. Related to the alignment of the planets. You can tariff penguins, but you can't tariff Bitcoin. OFMC meeting in December was really crazy, tick-wise. If you're looking for an example. Cool, yeah, I can bring that up. That'd be great. That'd be great. I'll probably pull that back up later. NASDAQ is trading like a penny stock right now. In fact, let's go back to IWM and Ruddy. Actually, that's holding up pretty well. I'm assuming that's because of the whole GME stuff. GME. People are like, what can we trade? And the retail comes in. They're like, let's go back here. Cohan is making an investment back into this. All right, there's another reading again as see, this is why trading live is just, I step aside for 1 second, man. All right, let's get that minus 1,000 reading here. I'll give it a shot. Why not? Not feeling overly confident about it. But then again, I'm usually not. Come on, a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper. Slip off into territory. All right, man, I really didn't like that, but I got in. I did not like that. That was just basically an undercut of the low. We'll see here. And we're slipping up a little bit higher here, and I'm going to go ahead and make about 20 bucks. There we go. I'm out. Very quick scalp. Very quick scalp. I bet, I probably would have to show the DOM, but it's not on this specific monitor. It's on my laptop. We just got another extended reading here. But that was a pretty quick little pop there. I don't even know where it was on the 1 minute chart, but I was in and out. Okay, in and out, in and out. Let's go back to tick. In, out, in, out. Yeah, so we got that minus 1,000. We saw a nice little bounce. I'm being a little bit aggressive here because I'm on live stream. But, this account was only up $30 on the day when I shared it originally, and we've doubled that progress within 2 trades. So now I'm up $95 on the day across those 5 accounts. So it's pretty good. Maybe we hit some halts today. It's possible. If NQ really starts to get moving, we have what's called velocity logic. Velocity logic, we talked about, I think we quickly discussed it. I'd have to look a little bit more into kind of how they do it, but on the tariff announcement, we actually hit velocity logic. You saw it. I was watching it NQ while it happened, and NQ is the one that hit it. But they do this price banding mechanism where if it moves at a certain rate within a certain period of time, they pause it, they freeze it, and it was like 4 or 5 minutes, maybe if that, to kind of reduce that volatility. And that's through the CME group. If you look up Velocity Logic, they have all that information there. Here we go. We're selling off again. Holy macaroni, people. This is absolutely incredible. Didn't quite get to 1,000 reading there. That's okay. Honestly, I feel like I'm kind of done for the day, but we'll see here. This is crazy. This is some crazy price action. I know people might say, why don't you just short it? I will if it gives me the right reading, but right now it's just been I just don't feel comfortable.
Trump aide Stephen Miller,
shorting a hole.
Fox says we have all the upside in this trade fight.
Didn't quite get down there. Holy moly! Let's look at SPY chart. This thing is just getting completely and utterly obliterated. It's down 5.73% on the trading session today. Holy moly, people! Just be careful out there, right? Don't make any crazy decisions. We'll look at more names. I'm kind of actively trading right now. Down 1,300 today. I mean, I don't know if that's a lot or a little for the individual preference, but yeah, I see the smiley face. So if down a little bit and you manage to survive, I mean, that's good. Like, I have to look at my portfolio now because this is absolutely just utterly bonkers. I know my larger my investment portfolio. I don't really touch that thing, and yeah, that's probably down big. Okay, we're getting a little extended here. I don't want to do it yet. Give me a deeper reading. I'm gonna miss it. Yeah, I knew it. There was a little bit of a bounce there in NQ. I would have preferred a little bit steeper of a reading. That's fine. Did we hit circuit breakers today? No, we didn't. Not yet. Ready for a limit down would be minus 7%. IWM. IWM was very close. Russell 2000 was very close today. I feel like, dude, Nike has to be getting hit now. This thing, I talked too soon. Yeah, there it is. Oh, I mean, it's still holding up rather well, but it is definitely going down with this market right now. This market is getting toasty. Don't have the nerve to scalp, just swing. I feel you there, Tommy. I way prefer swing trading. Unfortunately, when market conditions, and by market conditions I look at basically two things: the gamma flip line and the direction of the 5-day moving average to determine strategy. And I mean, here, let me just take a look. I'll show you, right? Time series. This is negative gamma. We've been here for 30 plus days. So people are saying, are you day trading too much? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to swing trade this? Maybe from the short perspective, but I don't even like shorting. I just like pretty much going long. It's always funny when people say that I'm super bearish too, because I'm like, am I? Am I? I'm always optimistic. I'm definitely optimistic with a lot of caution kind of overlaid with that. But when you're in negative gamma like this, volatility increases, right? We got back on, look at February 21st, where we're given those warning signs. February 21st was a while ago. Let's look at SPY. February 21st. Let's go ding dong ding. Boom, boom, bang.
Just
February 21st was what? Right over here?
Panama
Yeah, this day.
government.
Bam. That gave us our warning shot.
Tariffs and seeking an exclusion for
There's a little bit of a pop there. Unfortunately, I didn't trade it because I'm slow. I know it doesn't look like it on the daily time frame, but you can see that we came down here and I didn't grab it. Unfortunately, there's like, that thing just moved, what? Over 100 points. Over 100 points in less than a minute. Of course. Over 100 points in less than a minute, and I'm obviously too slow. So now, if you think that this market's going to go back down and you were looking to short the pop, so where would you short it? Okay, let's get over 1,000 and let's short the pop. Because if NQ actually, because this is a pretty strong move. I hate, even like here, for some reason, I just don't like shorting, but it would be quicker and aggressive. I guess we can try it. Why not? If we get a reading through here and the market's actually straight up and doesn't consolidate here, I'll try it. Just so I can show you both sides of it. We've done 2 trades live. We succeeded in both of them, both very, very small. I'm going to go ahead and post it for me. It's nice. Let me go ahead and do we're below the long puts here on the JPM caller. I'm going to go ahead and just copy this over. Somebody from the Discord's asking about it. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to him here right now. I forgot that I had this on availability to do this. So there we go. Okay. Blink. Wait. Oh my gosh. Give me a second. I forgot. I'm looking at it on my other computer and I'm like, I come here. Where did he post that? Swing Trading Lounge.
Just an update from the FT, just on hedge funds. Just noting That hedge funds have been hit with the largest margin calls since the COVID shutdown. Huge parts of the economy in 2020.
How's everyone doing today? Been full cash since the beginning of January. Nice, Tommy. Wow. I bet that sucked a little bit, like seeing the market kind of run up a little bit, chopping around. But I bet it feels great right now.
Dump up more money and security for their loans.
Are you thinking about getting and starting to build back into the positions at all, Tommy? Or you're looking for 480? Is that when you plan on trying to get back in? What if it doesn't come down there? What would be your process then? Not to say that it's not going to get down there or lower. I really don't know, but you know what I'm saying? I called the bull trap. Yeah, I maybe. Well, I hope you're not that effed there, but I don't know. I prepared for it, right? I prepared for it just like I prepared for the possibility of a bear trap as well. The bull trap ended up playing out, right? But I didn't know it was going to happen. There's too many things lining up to say, hey, you might want to watch out right here. Which goes back to like January 31st. I kind of put out that post in the community on YouTube and also on X talking about how it feels like we're on one side of the boat right now. And what happens is when it starts to capsize, people run back to the other side really quick to resolve it, and you get shaky back and forth. And before you know it, things get crazy. Wow, NQ is just nice little pop here on NQ, still down massively on the day. Let's take a look at SPY here. SPY, big push off the quarterly expected move, trying to claw back a little bit. It's honestly still just dangerous territory, people. Let's take a look at Market Watch. Take a look here. What's holding up? We have 97 declining stocks. Oh my God. We got some names holding up here. We have Target. We have Ford, Lowe's, and Nike. This is what capitulation looks like. We're just fully maxed out correlated in the S&P 100, the largest 100 names right now in the market. And these aren't small moves. Intel's down 11%. We got Tesla that's down roughly around 11%, which feels like normal these days. GE down about 11% or so. Dow, these are some of the bigger movers. Some banks, you got to be careful with banks. What is banks telling us? Here we go. Here comes an extended reading here on the tick chart on NQ. I don't like how it consolidated. It didn't get above 1,000. We'll see if it can get there. Yeah, GME's up 11%. CNBC markets in turmoil when. That's a good point. Have they not done it yet? It's funny. Giving up the whole entire 2024 gains in some. Have we really? By Hooks and Connell. Here, I'm bullish in the short term. See if this is an overreaction. Institution buying call. You might be right there, unknown. Are those are specific strategies, right? If I remember correct, CONL is coin, but it's like it's a strategy behind it, right? Hello? A tariffing day for the... Okay, that's pretty funny. A tariffing day for the stock market. Yeah, Bitcoin's holding up rather well. Yeah, we can look at Microsoft. I was thinking that we can get a good reading over here and I can try to fade it for you guys, but that did not happen. Microsoft's been looking rather weak. You know, pretty large breakdown here. Where are we at from the highs? You know, roughly down about 20%, 20+%. This thing also went on a monster run up, right? So yeah, it's like coming back in. Maybe look for 350. Maybe more, maybe less. I don't really know. But these are just massive. I mean, the chart is not on log, but maybe down and around this range. I think that we're going to see bounces, obviously. And you could
Brent
play
crude
bounces, but
futures,
just be
he
aware
says
of the
all
shorter
today
term
about
trend and so forth.
$4.56 at
It's a rough one.
per
Like I
barrel.
wouldn't short down here, and I'm a little too afraid to go long because I don't know where to get out. Basically, be what, a low of the trading session or down here? Like I don't. Unless if you think of it in terms of an investment, you think it's going higher over the course of time, then maybe that's the difference. But even here, it's like kind of just now starting to roll over. So I feel like it could be trading here for a while, if anything, unless if something massively changes. We've been already going sideways for a long time, which people might call this the markup phase, and they might call this the distribution phase, right? That could be the distribution. And now we're moving into a decline phase. So what happens? We snap back. Well, that could just be a back test, potentially head lower. All right, with market moves between 4 stages: accumulation, markup, distribution, decline, and so forth. And this is even fractal on all their smaller periods too, and larger, right? And even bigger, larger and stuff. So it's all fractal. And right now, looking at the weekly chart, right, this was clear as day, right? This was distribution over here, markup, distribution. That was a decline phase. As we snapped down, we broke back up to the 40-week moving average, roughly the 200-day. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, and then over here, we started to flatten it out, right? Started to flatten out, start to turn back up. Consolidated here, we had a big breakout, probably earnings or something like that. This was the first bigger base, right? Creating a larger cup with handle, and this was all the markup phase. And now, if you look at it, I mean, you get, and this looks like distribution, right? Distribution. Stage 2, stage 3, you even had a blow off type of move here, saw snapbacks. So if this looks similar to this, what can you see? You might see a snapback up, just like we did over here. I don't know if it's going to play out the same or if it's going to go like this. Like I have no idea. But right now, it's a pretty rough look currently. So it's going to take some time to heal this stuff. How's capitulation chart looking? Which one, Didi? And somebody had mentioned Carvana. I can pull that up too, because that was a massive one too that got hit. I'm not like a huge fan. Like if I trade Carvana, it's going to be like a fast trade. Look, the last time I looked at it was basically over here, I think, on this consolidation. And it was consolidating into a rising 50-day and a rising 200-day, right? And even over here was pretty clean. But now it's like, look at it. You go into this markup phase. So you get this large base, you break out, it's all in bullish context. I love bullish context. I love trading, the trend. But then you go through this distribution, and then typically during distribution, right, you get some tight bases as you go into the markup phase, tight pullbacks, tight bases, and then you get this wild and willy move, which is typically ends up being distribution. So you got to wait to see if it's a longer term base being built out that's larger, or if it's actually going to go into a decline phase. I can't step into this stuff. I just don't feel comfortable doing that. Wait, what the hell? What happened? Let me think here. Give me a second, sorry. I thought I sold a position and I just got notified, and yeah, I guess I didn't. I sold a little bit off and apparently I didn't. Oops. Well, now I did. Cool. Cool. That sucks. Let me pull it up. I guess it didn't really make that big of a difference. Never mind. I sold a little bit of my on the pop of this Nike from some of the stuff that I took earlier today, and apparently it didn't. I guess I didn't sell it, or I must have just closed the order out. But it looks like it's kind of in the same area. Could be worse. All right, let's go back over here to the tick chart because we're getting an alert. Might maybe pulling into another -1,000 reading over here. me a second too. I gotta. All right, let me take a look here at the chat. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here because I'm
Salute for German listed
somebody
Bayer,
watching my Kyle, and he has to be
BAYNGY.
down for his nap here in like the next
split among federal circuit
now
courts
to
for
30
appeal
minutes,
in
and
a
they're
roundup of
still at the
personal
park. I'm like,
litigation warrants for
you
review.
coming back?
And this
'Cause I don't want to deal with a
Supreme
cranky
Court
little
for review
baby
of the
later
roundup
tonight.
case.
I'd rather sit in my cave and play some Fortnite. Play some Fortnite. This is too much for the trading day. I need a break. I need a break. Do I think that the downwards price action is going to continue? I think we have to be open to that to take place. Yes. I think that we're going to see some gnarly rallies back. And I think that we have to also, once again, take that with a grain of salt. I think the best way to approach this is, for myself, I'll tell you the way I approach it. I mean, I'm going to be more bullish. First off, I'm going to remain optimistic, and I'm going to hunt out deals. It's what I do. But, oh my God, look at this day to day. This is just crazy. Holy moly. Hey, it filled the gap down here. Look at that. You can go hunt out some other gaps. I think there's a gap over here too. There's another reading down there. So I'm sorry. What was I saying here? Yeah, this is just bonkers, people. I think the Fed is going to be forced to do something if this volatility keeps up, but this is just absolutely incredible stuff. So don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush here. Like, if we close at the lows today on a Friday and we're going into the weekend, who knows what's going to happen? For all we know, all of a sudden a deal is going to be made that's better, and they're going to say it, and they're going to be like, yeah, we're doing X, Y, Z. And then we wake up and we're above the high. Like, we limit up. Like, who knows? Typically, when you close at lows, you get follow through. I would just not be in a rush, personally. There's something bigger brewing, and it's all going to look obvious in hindsight. Once again, if you go back to look at the big picture charts and all the warning signs that were happening, I know if it's too late, it's too late, right? And I know that people that are in it don't want to get out now because who knows what's going to happen. So how do you approach it from this aspect? I mean, you got to do what's best for you. You and the fam, right? The volatility like this is not going to hold forever. There's going to come a time where it feels better, right? Where you get some relief, but you gotta be prepared for the opportunities to come after, and you gotta be prepared for when this stuff strikes. This is crazy. This is just, I don't think I've ever done a live session with this type of moves before, or since I started recording, I don't think we've dealt with these type of moves other than the pandemic. And this is even crazier. We're down almost 6% in the SPY. Have we locked out yet on the circuit breaker yet on IWM? For whatever reason, IWM is still holding up. Apparently, IWM's outperforming the SPY right now, which is actually a decent sign, to be quite honest. I'd have to look at credit spreads. Look at HYG, just absolutely just bloodbath. 10-year yield. Actually, no, sorry, crude oil. I mean, this is crazy. Look at this move in crude oil. Like, this isn't a joke. This is crazy. These are huge, huge, huge moves. And you're going to get big boy trade in here. So the big players step out into this stuff. And, if you're not equipped to deal with this type of moves, just step away and watch it in awe. And, once again, focus on what you can control. Those 4 things: what you buy, when you buy it, how much you buy it, and when you sell it. There's going to be good opportunities. There's going to be bounces, and there's going to be FOMO, and there's going to be, what's the opposite of FOMO? Fear of missing out. And then there's going to be, I don't know. There's going to be FOMO where you want to get in or you miss it and then it comes back down. But then there's going to be times where it sells off like this and you're like, oh, I got to capitulate and get out. Or I'm too big, or I scale in too big and then it goes out, right? Don't be one of those people. And if you are one of those people right now, take a step back, breathe it out, approach it slower, right? I put an article out on X a while ago and somebody had re-brought it up. David re-brought it up to me and said, I should have just followed this kind of article. It was how to build a small trading account, or even a large one at that point, but how to grow a small trading account the proper way. And I kind of went in there and I just said, like, it's focusing on, I don't even know what I said. I said a lot in that article. Go read it. I'll post it in here if you guys want to see it. This is crazy. Fear of losing out. Thank you. Hey, that's a good one. FOLO. Is that actually a thing? FOLO? All right, let's go back up to the tick chart. I mean, I'll trade it if it brings it up. Why not? Fear of more losses. FOMO. Joy of missing out. That's good. JOMO. That is a good one, though. I've heard that, too. I've heard the JOYMO. Joy, whatever. I mean, I have some JOMO right now of the market moving down. Like, I don't need to be part of I don't need to have puts right now in my portfolio. I don't care about missing the downside price action. Making money on the downside crash. I don't care. I didn't make anything on the downside crash. Anything. I protected stuff to the best I could, which now it probably looks like crap. Whatever. That's a problem with my investment portfolios. I don't really touch them. I just keep on buying. Then you have to deal with this, and it's like I know I don't even want to pull it up because I'm gonna feel antsy to do something, and I don't want to do anything with it. But I know if I look at it, I'm like, well, I'll get out here and do this and do that, and I'm like, oh no. I just can't do anything with that. So I stick to my swing trading account to be more active, and anything else, I'll just deal with the waves of it and deal with whatever and change it as I get older. Boredom is the opposite of FOMO. I like being bored, to be quite honest. Complacency. Yeah. Oh, Tony. Tony. That got me there.
On cybersecurity names.
You almost got me to read it out.
Gemini V1, a new experimental AI model focused on advancing cybersecurity AI frontiers.
FOGO. Fear of participating. Yeah, these are all good ones. You think it's a recession in preparation like 2022? It could very well be a tech. I slipped this in a video, and I don't know if it's going to be true or not, but it almost seemed as if we were trying to be brought into a technical recession. That's what it felt like with all these talks, and now we're seeing like some stuff play out, and I still don't know if that's going to be necessarily true or not, but it almost seemed as if like he wanted lower rates. Trump wanted lower rates. He wants typically a weaker dollar, although he didn't say that, but that's what happened in 2017. But lower rates, he has mentioned that. And how do you get lower rates? Well, you shove the price of oil down in whatever ways that you can, right? Because that rates will typically follow. And then you force the Fed's hand, you create market volatility, and the Fed has to do something dramatic. And that's why I was kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, is he just moving us into a technical recession? And early in the what's it called? I'm drawing a blank here. Early in the administration, early in the presidency, right, of these 4 years. And so you can basically blame it prior, and then, if the Fed steps in, you all of a sudden see rewards at the back half of maybe less, I don't know, you can claim victory. Hella narratives. For somebody that says that he doesn't really like narratives, that was a pretty large freaking narrative, if I do say so myself. But it does feel well, and what's even crazier too is we were straight up told that there can be short-term pain ahead of all of this. But I will say that tariff stuff, I don't really know anything about tariffs at all. But I will say, when I saw the thing, I was like, holy heck, that's pretty wild. And I'm just letting the market kind of do its thing. And the market says, yep, it's pretty wild. What happened here? Pretty wild. Yeah, now we're going into earnings season. That's a great point. Oh, which brought me to my point here at the early morning of the session. Okay, what's reporting earnings in 5 days? So next week, right, it kicks off. We got BlackRock. Mini Christmas. These financials, man. What is financials? This is huge. Financial moves. That's crazy. We got BK, which is, what is that? Bank of New, okay, whatever. Morgan Stanley. This is absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonker moves. You know what's so funny to me? I was at that Vegas money show, and it's like I'm sitting there and I was listening to some stuff, and people were, basically like some big people in the space. They're like, I'm bullish, for this year for financials because of something. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I get your point, but there's so much other stuff going on. And then the other person was like, energy prices or oil is going higher. It's a guarantee. Basically, he said a guarantee. He didn't use that word guarantee, but he gave all the reasons as to why. I'm like, I don't know about all that. Like all the confidence. You get too confident in one side, and then all of a sudden this happens. And they might be right at the end of the year. Who knows? But right now, I don't feel like that. Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo taking it on the chin over here. Down, oh my gosh. These are incredible moves. That one's reporting earnings next week. JPM, the big guy, the big dog. Absolutely insane type moves. Now, obviously, if I zoom out, this was an insane move. Actually, in fact, if you go back to like my stock market brief videos, oh my gosh, look at that. Look at this weekly candle here. When we were looking at like this move over here in financials, and you go, I don't know where it was, but we were looking at the, if you go to the trade tab and you look out a year or whatever, and you look at the expected moves, and the chart was moving like 2 times what it was basically expecting over the course of an entire year, basically, but it did that in a month. And then we were like, I was kind of just saying, I'm like, what is going on here? Like financials were moving at a pace that they don't really move. It takes a year plus to make these type of moves, and they were doing it in months. It was crazy. Absolutely bonkers. Well, now it's the same thing is kind of happening, but to the downside. All right, so we got Goldman Sachs also reporting earnings 6 days from now. 7 days from now, we got Citigroup. This is all, I believe, next week. Yeah, Bank of America, J&J, whatever. So we start off with the financials, and then a week after that, we start to go into the big dogs, right? The big dogs. Let me see exactly when that is. Market cap. Yeah, a couple weeks later. So 18 days. Anywhere between 15 to 18 days away, we get our biggest earnings week, which is the mega caps. Yeah, SPY's making a little bit of a move right now. I mean, it's pretty common stuff. And Q's making a little bit of a pop here too. Bitcoin's green, which is not a bad thing. I mean, Bitcoin might be trying to tell us something. Who knows? We'll know in hindsight, unfortunately. I wonder where the Sailor to Ship tool is actually at right now. Let's pull it up. I'm going to have to make a subtle adjustment to the Sailor to Ship tool. Oh my goodness. Energy is down 8.5% today. Energy was the strongest performer year to date. And now it's down 7% year to date. It was up 10%. It's now down 6% in a matter of 2 days. If you remember that video where we talked about the sector analysis rotation, how energy typically march tops and you don't want to see energy outperform. Holy moly, things change quick. What was I pulling up? The Sailor Ship tool here.
Aware of. Do you know it's French President Macron is said to be is said to be Europe's point man in ceasefire talks
Goodness,
with
man. I just
Russian
hope
President
everyone's
Putin.
doing good here. Just, like, at least holding up. Like, it's
Reports
okay
in
to
the
have some
Telegraph,
short-term pain
French
here.
President
But
Macron said to be Europe's point man in ceasefire talks with Putin. He's said to be taking the helm of the coalition of the willing to convince Moscow to hold the war.
oh, yeah, the sailor to shift tool, it's starting to cross above. Bitcoin relative to gold here. Let me bring up a chart. Hey, we got an extended reading here on tick, but to the upside. Let's see what we got. Didn't quite get to 1,000, but that definitely was a pretty high reading there. I'm not going to step into this. I'm just going to let this go. I'm just going to call it quits on the day. I'm done. I'm done trading. I took a couple of trades here live, and it's power hour. We got 45 minutes left. I'm good. But that did fade nicely. It didn't quite get to 1,000, but it did fade. A little very quick scalp there if you were looking at that. So Bitcoin and gold, it didn't close up here yet. We still have like Saturday and some Sunday to go for the official close. But that's the rate of change between Bitcoin and gold is crossing up higher. It's above the zero line, which gives us a signal. The buy trigger is when price gets above the prior week. So technically, whatever the high of this week is, price next week would have to get above that for that quote unquote trigger. That's just a strategy that I use. People do things their way. I'm just sharing with you what I've done, what I've shared. Whatever. The power of fear. There is some power behind fear. What a move. Holy cow, macaronis. I would imagine that if I pulled up an RSI, we got some sort of a positive divergence here forming. Yeah. Good luck trading this stuff now, but low to a high, so you get this higher reading as we're kind of pressing lower. So maybe, maybe this creates some sort of a bounce, right, at some point. I don't know. We're coming to the end of the bell or closing hour, so I don't know what this weekend's going to look like. So I'm hesitant to trade anything like from a basis like this, other than what I've been showing you. But yeah, you get some, bounces up. So you get strong move up, rejected, strong move up, rejected, strong. So perhaps if we break this trend, maybe it offers up a little bit of relief. Okay. Lines don't work that well in this type of volatility, but sometimes they do, I guess. So a lot of these market makers, hedge funds, whatever you want to call them, the big dogs of trading right now, not really market makers, but the big dogs of trading, the algos and so forth, they don't necessarily care about your lines. Sometimes, right, in hindsight, but to make the trade actually occur, you get a lot of little fake outs, shakeouts, and this is what happens in volatility. So if you do like trading that way, which I do personally, but you go smaller positions and you deal with the volatility and you look for the risk and then you play it, right? You play it. Man, look at this thing go. I got to run to the restroom. I'll be right back and fill some water back up. Will I be dropping a video off tonight? I don't know if I can do it tonight because I was going to get help for later in the trading day, but I wouldn't have been able to go live. So if I can do it, I'll try to do my best to drop one. If I do it, it's going to probably come in the form of not YouTube. I'll probably post it on X and just do it for Patreon group because I'm not going to be able to make a thumbnail, title, description, and all that stuff because I'd have to do it while my child's asleep probably the next 20 minutes. And when this bell closes, I'm going to have to put it together and kind of conclude my thoughts together. Oh, today's Friday. My bad. I can probably do it this weekend. Yeah, absolutely. So I might be able to do it. It might not be tonight, but maybe I can do one this weekend, actually, on Saturday. All right, we're coming down, again, pretty hard and fast over here on NQ, and the tick chart's getting rather frothy. I did say I was done, but this is, to me, very tempting. I might have to just fade this if it gets there a little bit more. Nah, I missed it. Yeah, during the weekend, I might just do it on YouTube. Oh, when I put it on Patreon and stuff, I make it free for the free members on Patreon too. I don't charge for it when I post the market brief there. Just so you know. But since it's Friday, I forgot. I'll post it on YouTube because it gives me time to do that stuff. The next gamma support. Yeah, good question. Let's pull that up. Man, this market's crazy, people. You know, I wish I can sit here and tell you exactly like I know what's going to happen, but I don't think you should be listening to people that claim that they know what's going to happen next. I think you got to just be patient, wait for conditions to change back, and deal with this volatility. You're going to feel a lot of emotions. That's what price is. Price is emotion. Creates emotions. 4,900, 49. Oh my gosh, I know it goes deeper. 4,750. I would say watch 4,900, and then down to 4,750. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. 4,460 would be freaking crazy. Look, the thing is, these type of moves are going to create big bounces, and people like, even if imagine if it bounced up to here.
Analysts say in a note that
5,500
scorecard for stress in markets.
I promise you,
by the hour.
Everyone's going to say that's the bottom. Right? I guarantee it. I'm officially calling for a stock market bottom. I do that a lot. It's obviously, I joke about it because you only know tops and bottoms in hindsight. The only way you know if it's a top or a bottom is in hindsight. You can guess and you can think that you're like, the best ever if you get it right. But the official bottom and the official top is always in hindsight. So how do you trade it properly? Well, you look for conditions of the market to change. I like to look also at like follow through days and start to get your feet back in, but I don't go all in. I start to leverage in I start to go in slowly. And the reason for that is because I don't care about catching the bottom. I'm not going to do that. No one's going to catch the bottom perfectly over time. If that's your strategy, you're going to fail because there's a fail rate to every strategy. And if your strategy is something that's already very hard to succeed in, man, this market's going crazy. I should have just scaled in that one. It didn't give me quite the reading on that little bounce that we saw in NQ, but now we're getting extended up higher. I'm not gonna fade it, but I'm just telling those that are doing it. Any help for this chat? What you mean? What do you mean? Any help for the chat? What do you need?
City analysts say they do see signs of market stress in areas including cross-asset volatility, high-yield spreads, and US Treasury liquidity.
Yeah, so the put wall, in theory, I guess, we're going to get, we'll see what it looks like when it closes. 4,900, maybe I'll update that on the stock market brief. Actually, I will update that on the stock market brief. 4,900, but we're pretty close to 5,200. I'll be honest with you right now, from a gamma standpoint,
some commentary
we are in theory oversold condition here. If I look at net gamma, yesterday we were minus 1,200, right? This thing could be down here again, maybe even steeper, and these are typically more oversold conditions. Okay. There's people in Discord who are very certain. Some, like, I don't know, Gold Runner, I don't know who you're talking about specifically, but some people kind of joke around in there a little bit. Some people, mainly Moonraker. Some people don't get that he's just being sarcastic. But other people have strong feelings towards certain things, or at least for their strategy. And sure, have conviction to your strategy, but also have conviction when you're wrong. Like this is where I'd be wrong. So a lot of people, they'll say like for example, okay, we'll go back to Tom Lee because it's okay to pick on people that are have a big public face, right? He says what's going to happen, but he doesn't never say, hey, I'll be wrong if this happens. Why? Why don't people do that? There's a specific reason why, and you could probably come up with it. But if you're not willing to have an idea of like, hey, this is where I'll be wrong, and to be quite honest, when you say that you're wrong at a certain area, typically it reverses in your face. And then you're like, dang. And that's why people don't do it. Like, look for me, like IWM. Oh, I deleted it. I deleted the levels, whatever. It was basically a trade from here to and around here. And a nice little pop, didn't quite reach there, right? So people probably traded around it when we saw volatility, but still, the stop was down here. What was I going with this? Oh, yeah. It stopped out, and then it ripped right back up in the face, right? I didn't have the position on at this point, but it stopped out, and then it ripped right back up. So this is where you'd be wrong, and then you all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is why I don't share, and then it fell. It could have kept going up, and then I'd be like, then I'd look at this as a potential double bottom, and I'd look for it to tighten up, and I'd look re-enter, and so forth. But a lot of people don't know when they are wrong or say when they're wrong. So it'd be interesting to hear Tom Lee say, I think we're going to get this bounce, XYZ, and we're going to go to all-time high, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but where would you be wrong? When would you say, I'm wrong? Or this is not going to happen, something bigger is taking place? Maybe they say that, but I've never really heard anybody say, from a risk perspective, at least on CNBC, maybe
Just
some
further from
very
these
frequently
city
every once in a
analysts,
while.
They
But
do say that they are nervous that current value at risk shock could see
CNN fear and
further
greed index
forced
is at
unwinds.
4. That's wild. Yeah, no love at all for these recession names and stuff. Should be some more people in the Discord. It's a calm Discord. I've seen a couple of their Discords that one that's calm, but then some that are just a little too hectic and crazy. So I'm actually very, very happy about the Discord community. And the reason for that is because people are abiding by those rules. I've had to kick maybe one person out, maybe two, tops. One being a spam bot. The second one, I don't honestly even know, actually, for breaking the rules repeatedly. But that was it. Like, everyone's been really respectful in there and nice and following the rules, which are not hard rules to follow. And it seems like normal people in there. And now, if this was a free Discord, it would probably be, I'd probably have to have 10 mods modifying it. And then you're going to have people in there like trying to, all kinds of crap. But I'm very happy. And there's been people there for a very long time since I basically opened it up. And I'm so happy about that. So I just want, once again, thanks for everybody that's in there. I don't charge an arm and a leg. I try to do as much as value as I can in there. I'm not trying to position it or sell it right now. I'm just very happy that, you know, I'm getting this type of support, and the way that I pay it forward is, one, try to make it as inexpensive, you know, that makes sense, and then give as much as value as I possibly can. Right? And some people are going to like it and some people aren't. That's it. You know, I'm totally fine with that. But no matter what, in my heart, in my head, I'm over delivering value. I truly believe that. I do. It's not an alert service, by the way, right? It's not, no promises of Lamborghinis or anything like that. It's just a community of traders with some additional stuff. And, you know, if I charge way too much, probably a lot of people wouldn't stick around for that long because I don't know. Might not be, it'd be different. It'd be just different. I try to do it in like the realm of my thing. Like, if I saw somebody's Discord that was, you know, $10 a month or whatever, and they offered this much value, or it was a great community, or whatever the case is, I would even go to it. It just depends on the person leading the charge of it and then who's in there. Dude, my parent, what is going on right now? Hey, give me a second. I'm gonna take that break, and then I'm gonna make sure my kid's going to sleep here. Give me one moment. Sorry, I'm gonna play a little bit of music. All right, I'm back. Okay. Getting a little bit of a bounce here in these markets. The kid is officially getting ready to go on his little nappy. 25 minutes late. Can't be messing around like that. 25 minutes late. Shake, shake, shake. He'll be fine. Actually, I really don't care. It's my wife that cares more. All right, we're getting a little bit of a push here in the markets. IWM is now where it opened up for the trading session, only down 3%. Wow, some big moves. NQ still looks like poop, but it's okay. We're seeing a little bit of a bounce back here. Maybe look for that daily VWAP to be tagged. If we take a look at the tick chart, tick charts are getting up into those kind of extended readings. Once again, I'm not going to be trading this stuff right here, but you can see we're getting them over 1,000, and we're getting a little bit of a pullback in. You can still do this from both directions here. But as we come closer to the close, you already have a good day, or if you're, even or whatever, don't force things, right? Don't approach it from where you feel like you got to make more or do anything. This is the weekend. You got to go into the weekend peaceful as much as you can be on a day like this, right? It's wild. Let me turn off this volume here. Sorry. Okay, music down. Logical, yeah. I'm the same way. It's funny. Okay, here we go. Dad duty, indeed. Yep. Gold runner. I don't sell puts. I've actually never really sold options. It's never been.
Expected to win US
okay, I take that back.
Launch contracts worth
I don't
$billions
right now.
Friday.
I haven't really traded any options other than a few times this year.
Citing sources.
I traded randomly bed. What the heck is it called? BBWI, Bed Bath and Beyond, something like that. Here comes a little -1,000 reading over here for those that are still trading, or might get there. Yeah, I did like an option contract, like a long option, but it wasn't selling. And then just recently on like the last stream, I had a lotto trade on too, just randomly. Do I pay extra for that chart? Which chart? This one right here? I do. Yeah. In the Discord, if you're in the Discord, if that's why you're asking, you can get this chart. It's just a different indicator down here. It's just momentum. It's just been bearish all day and it just turned green, right? A little bit ago, with a couple of pops here and there. That momentum is just a different internal calculation that they use. You don't even honestly need convergence or momentum. I like having it there. And then the gamma range too is added in for the paid tradie ticks. If this is all you're going to use, it's pretty expensive, but they do offer a lot of different stuff within there. You can get the tradie tick. You can get this chart without the gamma range, in the Discord for $9 a month, amongst all the other little bots that they have and whatever else you want to type into the query channel. But just this service, I don't even know what their service costs. I bought it for a year. I have no idea. I forget. Like $70, $80, $90 a month. So if it was going to be that, beneficial, then yeah, then use it. Which, some people trade big sums, so $90 a month ain't nothing to some people. $90 a month is something to some people. So I bought the year because I don't want because it gives you a little bit of a discount, I think. And it pairs well with what I do. But I actually only use Market Net Flow here and I share it in the Discord. I haven't really used anything else. So I'm stupid. I gotta start using it because they are coming out with some really cool tools within there. If this is the chart you're even talking about, I don't know if this one you were mentioning, but thanks, Savage. Appreciate y'all being here. Is the NetFlow live on the Discord? I mean, you got to type it in on the query channel, and then you pop it up, and it gives you the updated reading on it. Yeah, but it's not like it doesn't just sit there and just go live. Or give me a second. All right, give me a second. Coco was very, very upset. Black Monday or not? Do I think we'll see Black Monday? I don't personally think that's going to happen. I'm not rooting for that by any means. I hope it doesn't happen. After this type of sell side, I think that it's possible to get follow through if we close at the lows. I think that's always a possibility, and letting it play out. But I also think that a strong possibility on a strong sell off like we've seen is to get snapbacks. But I think sometimes I kind of think these snapbacks or these moves, like a part of me is just thinking, like yesterday I was seeing a lot of people say, we're probably going to rally tomorrow. And in just my head, I was just like, I started thinking about June of like what was that? It was June of, I forget, but Jerome Powell was out and it was 3 consistent days. And I just remember everyone losing their absolute minds, but they were trying to time it perfectly. And it went an extra day and everyone basically at that point didn't say a word about it. And by everybody, I mean, what I see out on Twitter. Let me go to that date because it was in June and I was on vacation. I typically go on a little vacation in June. It was deeper, actually. When was this? It was like 2021 or something, or 2022. No, 2020. Actually, 2020. When was this? Oh no, was this June? Yeah, maybe it was 2022. I think it was over here. Yeah, right here. See this? We had this tight consolidation, and like price broke down from it, closed at the lows. And then we gapped down again, and then really people started losing their stuff. And look at this gap down again. Boom. And then it closed near the lows. And then we saw a little bit of reprieve, and then it even flushed even further down. So that right there, that was Jerome Powell was talking about something. I remember that's what really kind of created a lot of that sell side. And that actually was not even the bottom. It went lower, and then we got our bottom here in 2022, October and I was in New York at this time because I remember getting the 9% CPI print with a massive gap down. And then we close at the highs of the day. And that right there, when you get a super negative news number, but it closes super bullishly after already a strong sell-off, that's a pretty bullish sign. And it wasn't an easy way through this, but that was the bottom. In hindsight, we don't know it's going to be the bottom. But if we're talking about bottoms right now, this was day 1 of the attempted rally. You got day 2, day 3, day 4, day 4, 5, 6, 7. Day 4 through 7, you start to look for follow-through days. And right here was actually one of those follow-through days. You had more volume than the prior trading day. So this day right here would have told you, hey, maybe I should add in a little bit more exposure to the market. And that low was actually never breached, even on this sell side over here. And we kept on continuing to press higher. And we even saw another follow-through day big time over here. So it was very volatile coming out of it. But, these type of moves and knowing this, then, I don't remember what gamma was at that time. I'd have to go back and look at that stuff if we're positive gamma above a rising 5-day, etc. But you can see that, you add these things together, and it doesn't mean that this is going to be the low, but what it tells you is if it is the low, because these follow-through days have happened coming out of every correction in bear market, once you do catch it, you can start getting in more. And even if you don't catch the perfect bottom, you can start getting in and play for the larger term run up. And then you could look at individual names that have been holding up stronger than relative to the market to potentially find the new winners in the new cycle. I do have the minus 1,000. Oh, I don't have actually. I do it at 850 right now, DD, just to give me the alert to be prepared. I didn't do it at the minus 1,000 because I'm just not that quick. At least live, I'm not that quick. Spot Gamma's half price right now. That's actually pretty cool. I might have to check them out, actually. Spot Gamma is, I like Spot Gamma. I do. All that, what's crazy to me is Trady Ticks, Spot Gamma. This is stuff that like institutions and hedge funds would utilize. Like they only had access to this stuff, right? And now as a retail trader, we're getting access to some insane data. It's pretty cool. So like this kind of like the wall that we've been kind of hidden from is just massively changed over the course of time, right? And the barrier's been broken. It used to cost, well, it's still expensive as heck to do a Bloomberg terminal, right? There's actually somebody in the Discord that actually has one, which is awesome. Doesn't post frequently in there, but he does have it. So if he's listening, that's pretty rad, dude. Yeah, it's obviously a big trader to have a Bloomberg terminal, that's for sure. I don't know. I don't know what the cost is. It's expensive though. It's like $20,000. I don't know, a month, a year. I have no idea. He doesn't talk much, Gold Runner. But Ape Trading, I don't know if he's in there anymore, but he doesn't post frequently, but every once in a while he posts. But Ape Trading is he's there in the Discord. Or was. A name like Ape Trading, like it's 25 a year. I mean, okay. I think it's like doable, but it's doable. 25K a year would be doable if you're in this space. Like for me, like what is that? What is that a month? Like $2,000 plus a month? Like it's kind of like a mortgage. That's pretty freaking crazy. I mean, if it was going to bring my subscribers and my people that much more value, because I don't really even know what it does. I have no idea what's in there that I would need other than what I have. So I would need something to be like, this will make me this much and this better. But if I can't make more by having it, I don't see the need for it. Like I said, I have no idea what's on there. Zero idea. Zero clue. But I don't know. Should I buy one? Do I give it a shot? Man, this market volatility is quite crazy here. I'm just looking at the SPY. We're off the lows of the trading session, but just a lot of volatility as we come into the close. We got about 13 minutes left. Would have to be making at least 100K profit annually. Shoot, I wouldn't even want to. I would want to make even more than that for me to pay $20,000 or $30,000 a year on that. I don't want it to take up 20% of those profits. I'd be more like, I would be wanting to probably move more into, I mean, I would want it to feel like nothing. Like I have a lot of products and services. I pay quite a bit a month. I do have services that are ranging, combined all together, I'm definitely paying over $1,000 a month for all the stuff that I have and stuff, the data that I pull together and share it on YouTube for free. I put it in the Discord channel, a lot of the research, a lot of the stuff that I do. I'm paying over $1,000 a month, easy, for all the stuff that I have. Services, everything. I have so many different charting services and so many different research pieces and aspects. It's clear over $1,000 a month, which I probably got to consolidate because I got like an alert from one of them. Like, dude, I haven't looked at that forever. NQ coming in a little bit here. SPY's coming in a little bit over here. Breaking from that back, another, once again, kind of a lower high here from that quarterly expected move. So I don't know, maybe the Bloomberg terminal might consolidate all that information. But I hear that when you get the Bloomberg terminal, there's still stuff that you can buy within it to add on, like additional things or whatever. New low into the day for the close. That would be not a fun way to go into the weekend. That's for sure. But yeah, we're still kind of holding this trend line lower. I don't know, however you want to draw it. Whatever. I'll just keep it like that. Make sure my kid's up. Give me a second here. Baby monitor. Oh man, he passed out so quick. That a boy. That's my boy, Blue. I'd rather have a second wife, Kyle. How do you guys think of this stuff? I'd rather have a second wife. Yeah. You can use when it calls. You know what, Savage? I know. I've heard that. And I've heard that in New York, the library or something like that has a free Bloomberg terminal you can use. I don't know if that's true or not, but I was there in New York and I randomly ran into some traders. And they're like, we were talking about that stuff, and this was a while ago too. They were like, yeah, if you want access to the Bloomberg terminal, you can go to the New York library. And I don't know which one specifically. I think it's just called the New York Library. I really don't know. And they're like, no, they have access to the terminal there. I was like, really? I was like, I wouldn't know the first thing to do. I wouldn't know any of the tickers. but cool. So if you're in New York, let me know. My next stop on SPY, right now I really just do not have a next stop. I mean, this is in dangerous territory. We really broke from that weekly expected move significantly. It's almost like a 2 standard deviation. If not, it is already a 2 standard deviation move. It's definitely a 2 standard deviation move. This might be a 3 standard
Market
deviation move,
imbalance.
4 standard
Reportedly
deviation
about
weekly
$5 billion
move.
on the sell side. That's $5 billion
Absolutely
to
crazy.
sell for the market's imbalance.
Jeez, man, these readings are getting very intense. Let me see here. Let's pull up the tick chart. Should I do a scalp into the close? That'd be crazy. Let's get a minus 1,000 reading. Maybe I will. Nah, I already committed not to doing that. Very, very intense trade. Not a fun way to end the day. Let's see if Nike finished up or if it got smacked. It got smacked into the close. It's still holding up though. Come on, Nike. Ah, man, it actually made a nice big run up here over here, and then it's just kind of selling off with this market volatility right now. So it kind of took its own path over here with the whole Vietnam news, and then it's still following the market trajectory. So if the market starts to find some sort of a bottom, Nike could be a play, that's for sure. But right now it's just kind of moving with the market here, hard and fast. Holy moly, this thing is just crazy. This sucks. This is horrible. I mean, if you're making money, great, but this is unnecessary type moves. This is crazy. They're gonna need some sort of step in intervention. Something big's happening. I just don't mess with it. There we got a minus 1,000 reading over here. Got about 8 minutes to close. Don't close at the lows, dude. Do not close at the lows. Ugh, this is disgusting. Just gnarly. NYPL Brooklyn Business Library near downtown Brooklyn has a Bloomberg terminal. Oh, there we go, Stuart. Thanks. New York Public Library. Okay, so that's so I think that's what they're talking about. There we go. Cool. It's good to know. Good to know. You might find me down there operating a live stream from the New York Public Library. Can you imagine? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm live right now. All right, this is getting a minus 1,000 reading. Should I try it? That's crazy. I can't do this. I'm not going to do this stuff right now. It's too much. Gosh, my phone is blowing up right now too. Gee, mini Christmas. People. I get it. It's volatile. You just emailed them? Oh, nice. Yeah, what a day. What a day. This is crazy. Crazy. Can't talk in the library. I can whisper. I'll just do an ASMR live stream. Hey, everybody. Michael here. We're going to do a little live stream. It's going to be great. Mike, all you have to do is call the market bottom and we rally on the weekend. Sheesh. I wish I can do that. This is crazy. So that's 7 minutes into the close. This market is just frothing down to the downside. SPY is legitimately looking like it's going to make a new low on the trading session. Holy moly, people. Gosh, another phone call. I'm getting blown up here into the close. What is going on? Margin calling. Margins calling. Not a fun way to go into the weekend, but, if you manage to kind of just hold things together, I guess, there's some light there, but man. Market net flow has been bearish for the majority of the bulk of the day. We've had some pockets of no convergence where we get some pops in the market, but this has just been one of those days, people. You'll be the first one to do an ASMR trading. Pioneer. Never answer a margin call. Don't do it. Too good. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Just look at that. I think we just crested into new lows, or dang near close. Oh, that's SPY. NQ seemingly looks like it's about to do it. Wow. I'm going to pull up an NQ chart. This is crazy. Look at this thing go. Now this this looks insane. Come on, we're going to go into the weekend like this? That ain't no way to go into a weekend. Got 5 minutes left. Rip us back to the moon. Actually, that'd probably be a bad thing. All right. I appreciate that, Tommy. We'll be closing down this live stream here in a moment. I'll just watch the close so we can kind of just look at it, kind of round out some thoughts here. Gap up on Monday. I mean, it's possible. That's for sure. I mean, we don't know what's going to come out over the weekend. That's the risk, the weekend risk. This is dirty move here into the close. No, I can only afford a 57. Oh, brother, there's the new low on SPY. So we're going to a new low there on SPY. That's just wonderful. I mean, shoot, what is IWM doing right now? Are we hitting circuit breakers yet? Jeez, into the close? No, IWM's actually holding up rather well. Gee, mini Christmas. The only thing that saved me is probably down now too, coming into the close. Punk, dude. What a punk. At least it's still up. I guess there is hope there. It didn't kill me completely, and I didn't get out when I thought I got out, so that kind of sucked, but whatever. It wasn't that big of a position, or got some out at least. Tesla's down 10% on the trading session, near its lows. Meta down about 5%. Apple down 7% near its lows, and this is just brutal. Do you think about China and K-Web here? Let's take a look at that stuff because I have no idea what that's looking like after this last day. It's been a pretty wild ride. I'm hesitant on a lot of things. Yeah, so this thing, it did expand, but it expanded the downside. What happened there? Didn't we get some news over the night or something like that with China, kind of combating something to do with the tariffs? Well, this is just going to be a fight back and forth. I'm more on defense with just about everything now. There was a bunch of names I was looking at. Futu was one of them. I was interested in this. This down 15%. So yeah, no, like I'm not interested in that anymore. All these names, like this is just too much for me.
So note
too crazy.
Meta does reportedly plan a nearly $1 billion data center project in Wisconsin.
I'm not interested in it anymore. This is crazy. Got 2 minutes to close. Just absolutely bonkers, man. Well, somebody had mentioned, a goal run I think mentioned about selling premium. I honestly might be looking at that now. See what it looks like. I got to do some research over the weekend here. See what it looks like coming into tomorrow or on Monday. This is crazy. I got so freaking lucky today. I'm not going to call it anything. I'm not going to call it skill or anything other than that. Today was completely luck. 100% luck. I have like one of the only names in the market that is up, at least right now, that legitimately saved most of my stuff. Complete, utter luck. A lot of my stuff is down, but there were such small positions. Like I bought a little bit of a quantum name. I finally executed a little bit into PCT down, but like by small, I mean, this is like not even 1% yet. So these are positions that I was planning on trying to build into and just put my feelers out there. This one actually I put into my swing trading account. So in my other account, I was thinking of a longer term hold, and I have not done that yet. But these things are down massively. Like it's down. QUBT was the one that I put a little bit in there. That's down like 14%. I don't even know why I didn't stop out. But the position is so small, it's not making a dent in anything. Like my portfolio today is up. I know, it's crazy. I'm telling you, that was because of another trade. No, I have Nike. Nike was the lucky trade. It just randomly today, Vietnam came out and said that stuff. Look at this close, just directly on the lows. This is just absolutely disgusting. They're going to have to do something about this. I just do not see them allowing this type of stuff to happen. It's going to create massive panic in these markets if it's not already. For some reason, I don't feel any panic right now, and I feel like other people should be feeling some panic. It's not a small move. This is not something to like joke about. This is massive. Just billions upon trillions being wiped out in market caps. And I get that we've also went up for too long, right? So it's just coming back down, and that's fine. But this is very aggressive and very volatile, right? Not good. And you know, he had the nerve too to say something like oh, the stock market looks good here. It's like going to boom. Like, yeah, boom or bust, right? Whatever you want to call it. That's just nasty. It's just nasty. Very nasty. Hopefully some good comes from it, and there will be. This is the thing, people. Okay, that was the doomy part of whatever. Like, it is crazy. This is wild, and I guarantee you talk to any big Wall Street person, they're going to say the same thing. And if they're like, "Oh yeah, this is normal market behavior," they're not actually on Wall Street, right? They're just a talking head. Because anybody with a level sense of anything would be looking at this and be like, "This is." Give me a second. I can't have my baby. Give me a second. Forgot what I was saying. Coco didn't want to wake up my son. Yeah. So anybody with a level head, that's actually in these markets will probably be like, yeah, I don't know. They just would look at this and be like, yeah, this isn't normal. You don't need me to tell you this or anybody on Wall Street. That's not normal. That's not normal. It's crazy. That's crazy. So, I feel for everybody there out there that, because I guarantee, like I know my investment portfolio, my longer term portfolio, probably, you work throughout the entire year over here and you're like pretty happy about it. You're like, oh, it's doing good, cool. I know there'll be pullbacks, blah, blah, blah. And then you're back down here and you look to the left of your screen, right? And you're like, damn, dude, you just wiped out a year's worth of progress. Of course that sucks. And okay, I'm not retiring tomorrow. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But damn, like this does create generational opportunities. I don't know if this is it by looking back on the chart, right? If we zoom out, that ain't that generational of an opportunity in my opinion. It's just like what, maybe 450? That'd be pretty good. Is it going to get down there? And how is it going to get down there? And then how long is it going to go sideways if it were to come down here? But look at the pandemic low was here. That was crazy. And now we're way up here. So in the grand scheme of things, this is the financial crisis. Can you imagine like if we came back down? That would be a depression. That would be what? What would that be? That'd be 70% off the lows. Yeah, no. That'd be, yeah, no, the Fed would do something. The Fed's going to do something. Let me look up the time frame, because if we go back, like, you got to think about the lost decade, right? And I know this isn't a log chart, so bear with me. I don't even know how to change it to log. But this was the .com run up, .com bust. We ran all the way up, and then we sold back off the financial crisis. That was what, 10 years? And then even longer? Yeah, like, what is this, year 2013? Yeah, even longer than 10 years. It was a lost decade. Now, there were opportunities to buy the dips throughout all this stuff, and now, like, look at this. From a log perspective, that's a pretty steep decline. But it ain't nothing like this. It ain't no 50% drop from the highs to the lows. And I'm not calling for a 50% drop, but if that was to be the case and we were going to go down 50%, what would that even look like these days? Oh my gosh. You'd be coming down over here to, I mean, I guess that's pretty funny. It's not funny, but that'd be still above the pandemic low, which was seemingly feels like yesterday. Imagine taking out the 2022 low. My point here is this. I don't know where markets are going to go or what's going to happen, but I know that there will be opportunities for those that are patient, and we're going to see rip your faces off rallies here. So just be careful out there, people, okay? Hopefully you all enjoy this. Hey, no imagining eyes where you want to go. just be careful out there, per usual. Well, I'm going to try my best to find opportunities in this market. We went over 50 stocks the other day that were holding up rather well. Probably a lot of those got clobbered. But anything that's we're going to continue that process, right? We're going to continue that process because we're not going to fight it, right? So go back to that movie, right? That only got like 1,000 views or something like that, something crazy. So it's crazy low. That's what I look for, right? Who cares about the names of the stock and what they're doing? But basically, that's what they were doing at this point in time. And now I'm going to be doing the same exact thing. And there might be some of those names still on the list that I'm looking for names that are holding up, that maybe bottom before the bigger markets, that might lead us into the new bull market, whenever that is. I don't know when it is. But at the beginning of that episode, we had to start it off with saying, we're a negative gamma, we're below declining 5-day moving average, we have this tariff announcement, and I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm not going to fight it if the market doesn't like it. And I'm going to join in if the market does. Market's very clear here. It doesn't like it. I don't know what else to say. This sucks. I mean, it doesn't suck if you're like a bear, right? And you love, been shorting the market. It's probably just some relief to those people. Like, finally my position that's been going against me forever. Finally I got paid something, or maybe break even, right? Or shorter term traders, whatever. But the easy money has always been made on the long side. You can go back and crashes don't really last long, right? So, okay, actually, here's a good new thing because I'm ranting right now. Bear markets typically last, unless if it's like a bigger thing, like what we saw about the lost decade. But bear markets standardly take 3 months to a year, right? Some massive volatility. And there's signals that we can get into and stuff. We'll use those later, because there are specific charts I use during crashes like this. And this, by all means, I'm going to put this in the category of a crash. To me, this is a crash. I don't know if anybody believes this is. From zooming out, it doesn't look like one or look whatever. But given the context of the move in the short period of time, I put this in the category of a crash mode. Absolutely. Especially if you look at IWM, right? Crash mode. And actually, IWM didn't close at the low. There's a little glimmer of hope, ladies and gentlemen. Small caps led there. So perhaps small caps might be the one to watch. In fact, damn it, now I'm going off into more of a tangent because I do want to get off here and take a break before my kid does wake up. There's a chart that I have. Dang, where did I post this thing? I posted it on Twitter. I know that. And I think that actually Guy had reposted it. But he posts a lot, so I wouldn't be able to find it. Let me just zoom through my stuff because I want to share it with you. It's showing the IWM next to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And what I'm pointing out in there, I did do it. Okay. Cha-cha, cha-ching, cha-choom, cha-choo. Okay. This is on top the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and down here is the Russell 2000. And what I've pointed out prior is sometimes small caps lead the way, both bullishly and bearishly. Not all the time, but sometimes. So for example, the Dow Jones went higher over here, but the small caps did not put in a new high. They didn't put in a new high. Over here, look at how small caps lagged everything. Dow Jones made a matching high. Pretty crazy, right? On the flip side, Dow Jones made a new low. Small caps put in a higher low, and that actually marked a bottom. So to see small caps leading, now where did Dow Jones go? I don't even know. What's the ticker for? Is INDU here? No, it's not INDU. Is it INDU like this? I don't even know what this is. I'll just do DIA. I'll just do the diamonds. Yeah, that closed at the low. I'm not surprised there. Okay. So I don't know. Maybe, perhaps that's something that we can keep in our back pocket as well. All right. Please. Okay, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody out here on Twitch. Didi. Wait, how in the world? I need to fight. Wait, what did I say? I don't even remember what I said, Didi. My bad. Unless you're responding to somebody else. See you, Didi. See you, Barkster. See you, Tony. See you, Juan. Big moves, big moves. See you, Exotic. See you, Generator. See you, Old Grumpy Golden. Thanks for all tuning in today again, hanging out with me. It's the most interaction I get, other than just seeing my child and my wife. I never leave this house. Oh, gosh. I got to get out and make friends. Thanks, Chris. FF, HD, see ya. M2, Thea, Varma, thanks for tuning in, man. SPS, M2, Sweet Ass Chicks, thanks for being here, man. You guys been here for the whole entire stream. See ya, Eco. Thanks for tuning in, man. Jeremiah, Meech, Auntie, Sam, Remy, Mr. C. I might say these multiple times. Michael, Chris. Still lost your ass today, man. I'm sorry, bud. It sucks. Hopefully it's good for some people. Hopefully it's flat for some people, you know. And hopefully, you know, if you went on tilt, hopefully it's not too crazy and you take a step back and just do what you need to do to reset, right? You can always make it back. Just patience. Remy, see ya. Andrew, see ya. Futures Trader, see ya. Colby, Zeppy, Comrade, all y'all. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Mad Nepali. Y'all have a good one, okay? Alpha, Mario. Hey, Mario. Mario's always commenting on my videos, little trophies and stars. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, guys. See you, T-Rabbit. Jeremiah. All right. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend. Run later. Andrew, Wes. All right. Tommy. You already cracked a beer. That sounds good. I might have to do the same thing. Oh. All right. Yeah, TM, I will. I'll do it on the market brief about giving a potential bounce. I will. I think it's very possible. I hate closing down at the lows. You typically get follow through. But typically on days like this too, it's common to see inside trading days the next day. I just don't know. There's too much uncertainty right now as far as news goes.
In Papua New Guinea.
It's just too much. So I'll put my thoughts together when I get a little break from this market and some sunlight. Oh, in my next video, yeah, I will. Greg. I'll make a video. All right, guys. I'm tuning out. Guys, gals, everybody. Look at this. I can't. I'm looking down at my screen and we're still seeing crazy price. I just don't even get it. All right, I'm out. Be careful. Be safe.